So the big question around the Galaxy S26 Pro has finally been answered. Is it just a rebranded base model, or does it actually bring something Pro to the table? Well, good news. This time, it's not just a name change. And along with that, I've also got some fresh updates on the entire S26 lineup. So let's dive in. What's up, guys? Maiky here. If you missed it, Samsung is officially retiring the base S26 and replacing it with the Pro. That means the new lineup is the S26 Pro, the S26 Edge, and of course the 26 Ultra. Now, ever since this move was revealed, the big debate has been, is Samsung just slapping a new label on the same hardware, or are we getting real upgrades? Turns out they're actually improving things. Today we've got new battery info, courtesy of Galaxy Club, and if you know them, their leak history is almost always spot on. According to their report, the S26 Pro will ship with a 4300 mAh battery. That's a 300 mAh jump over the S25. If the display size stays the same, that's a pretty solid upgrade. They also shared the S26 Edge's battery size, which lands at 4200 mAh. Again, 300 mAh higher than the S25 Edge. And considering Samsung is making the Edge even slimmer, that's actually pretty impressive. Now, Ice Universe claims the Edge will have 4,400 mAh, and he says he'll confirm it later. But personally, I'd lean towards Galaxy Club here because their record has been flawless. Either way, both the Pro and the Edge are definitely getting stronger batteries. As for the S26 Ultra, that one's still capped at 5,000 mAh, same as last year. And the reason is airline regulations. Anything over 5,300 mAh needs a dual cell design like what OnePlus uses, and Samsung just isn't ready to go down that road, at least not yet. On the camera side, the S26 Edge is also leveling up. It's moving from a 12 megapixel ultra wide to a 50 megapixel one, which now puts it on par with two of the Ultra's cameras. Sure, it still doesn't have a dedicated telephoto lens, but the 10x digital zoom on the S25 Edge was surprisingly solid. Still, hardware usually beats software, so a proper telephoto would have been great. But even then, this is a decent step forward. Back to the S26 Pro, I'm happy to see that battery upgrade. The phone itself will likely end up thinner than last year's base S25, but we don't have much more locked in yet. If Samsung also boosts the cameras, I think people will actually accept the Pro name and even pay a bit more for it if the upgrades feel real. Honestly, if Samsung added a periscope lens and raised the price by $100, I wouldn't complain. Sure, not everyone would agree, but based on their recent sales, most people wouldn't mind. But hey, let me know in the comments, would you pay extra if the Pro got a periscope camera? Now, some of you might be wondering, how can Samsung even call it Pro if there's no regular base model anymore? Well, that's where the FE comes in. It'll launch later, but it still sits in the same family. My guess is Samsung wants the FE to cover that entry-level spot. It might still be branded as Fan Edition, but realistically, it's the new base model, especially if the Pro keeps picking up camera upgrades. Now, love or hate Samsung, you can't deny their mobile division is killing it in 2025. Official sales numbers are in, and both the S25 series and the Fold 7 have been massive hits. Take the Fold 7 first. Samsung confirmed it got more US pre-orders than any Fold before it, and overall sales are already up 50% year over year since it launched on July 25th. And it's not just the US, South Korea, India, Europe, everywhere is breaking records. The S25 lineup, same story. In the US alone, Q2 numbers show Samsung sales jumping 38%, while Apple dropped 11% in market share. Apple's clearly struggling, whether it's the underwhelming iPhone 16 launch, their AI hiccups, or the tariff situation, but Samsung, they're thriving. And remember all the outrage about the S25 launch and the Fold 7 missing features like the S Pen? Turns out the vast majority of buyers didn't care at all. Not only did sales hold, they actually hit the highest numbers we've seen in about 5 years. Hopefully that doesn't give Samsung an excuse to ditch the S Pen on future Ultras because, let's be real, that pen is still the Ultra's most unique feature. Without it, it's just another big Samsung phone. Thankfully, the S26 Ultra is still expected to keep the S Pen slot built in, but beyond that, the future is less certain. And before we wrap up, if you're curious about the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL's final upgrades, I've left a link in the description for you to check out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have an awesome day, and don't forget to keep smiling.